There is a factory in South Carolina where, alongside the human workers, something genuinely new has started clocking in for a shift. It does not get tired, it does not take breaks, and it looks, frankly, a little unsettlingly like us. This is BMW's plant in Spartanburg, the largest car factory in the entire United States, and it has quietly become one of the most important proving grounds on the planet for a technology that could reshape manufacturing forever. The humanoid robot. BMW even has a name for this whole new frontier: physical AI, the point where artificial intelligence stops living on a screen and starts doing real, physical work in the real world. And what is happening here is far more real and far further along than most people realize. Let me show you. First, you have to understand where you are. Spartanburg is enormous. This single site builds every BMW X5, X6, and X7 for the entire world, hundreds of thousands of vehicles a year. It is a city of robots, conveyor belts, and precision. But almost all of those robots are bolted to the floor, giant arms that do one job, in one fixed spot behind a safety cage. The machine you are looking at now is something completely different. It walks. It has 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. It is built deliberately in the shape of a person. And that shape is the entire point, because here is the clever idea. Our factories, our tools, our shelves and trolleys, the whole built world has been designed around the human body for over a century. So instead of redesigning the factory around a new machine, BMW and its partner, a company called Figure, are building a machine shaped to fit the factory we already have. A robot that can, in theory, walk up to any workstation a person can, and do the job with no expensive rebuild required. That is the dream, and they have already started testing whether it actually works. The first version, called Figure 02, was put to work on a real live production line. Over almost a year, 11 months in total, it helped build more than 30,000 cars, taking sheet metal parts and carefully inserting them into place for the welding process. Not a demo, not a stunt. 30,000 real cars that real people are driving today, and that quiet success is why the newer, far more capable model, Figure 03, is now arriving on the floor. If watching the future of work actually being built fascinates you, do hit subscribe, because this story is only just beginning. The new robot's job is even more complex, and it is exactly the kind of dull, repetitive task that wears human bodies down. It works in logistics, reaching into big, messy, unsorted containers of parts, identifying the right component, picking it out, and placing it neatly into a trolley in precisely the right order, ready to be delivered to the workers further down the line. It sounds simple. It is anything but. And to do it, this machine is packed with genuinely remarkable technology. It has soft outer surfaces, so it is safer to work right next to people. It charges wirelessly, so it can keep going between shifts without being plugged in. It can even understand and respond to spoken instructions. And cleverest of all, its hands now have a sense of touch, with cameras built into the palms, so it can feel and see what it is grabbing and handle delicate parts without crushing them. But, and this is the honest part, we have to keep our feet firmly on the ground here. This is not science fiction, and the robots are not about to take over. Right now, they are still slow. They are clumsy compared to a skilled human. They handle only a small handful of narrow, carefully chosen tasks, and they are very much still in a pilot phase, being tested and watched closely. A human worker remains faster, smarter, and far more flexible at almost everything. So this is not the moment the machines replaced us. It is the very first, careful, early step of a much longer journey. And of course, it raises a real and uncomfortable question about what factory work and the jobs that depend on it will look like in 20 years. So the reason this matters so much is not what these robots can do today, but the direction they point in, because BMW is not stopping. The plan is to give them more and more jobs, fastening parts, inspecting quality. The plan is to grow the fleet from a handful of test units into a real workforce. And the plan is to take what is learned here in South Carolina and roll it out across the company's other factories around the world, starting in Europe. Spartanburg, in other words, is the laboratory for the entire experiment. So, what are we actually looking at here? We are looking at the moment a science fiction idea, the walking, working, humanoid robot, quietly stopped being fiction and clocked on for a real day's work, building real cars. It is slow, it is early, and it is imperfect. But it is happening on a live line right now in an American car factory. Whether you find that thrilling or unnerving, one thing is certain. The factory of the future will not just be full of robot arms behind cages. It will be full of machines that walk among us. And it is being figured out, one carefully picked part at a time right here. The future of how things get made is being built today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one. And don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.